The director of the original 90s Ghost in the Shell had a few things to say about political correctness in the West and how it's affecting the East. Let me tell you, he didn't hold back.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast and consider becoming a channel member. Political correctness, identity politics, and wokeness are all three things that I rail against on this channel. I'm not trying to hide it. I think that all three of those things stifle creativity and foster a sphere of division that is unnecessary, not just to people in the arts, but to the consumer, to the audience, to the patrons of the arts. And I'm not the only one. Ghost in the Shell is one of my all time favorite anime films. I enjoyed the first one, the second one, and sort of enjoyed the series spin off standalone complex, which kind of served as a soft reboot to the films. Didn't care for the subsequent TV shows and movies, and I kind of enjoyed the live action remake with Scarlett Johansson. So, I was really surprised when the original director of the very first Ghost in the Shell movie popped up. And he had a lot to say about political correctness and how it is affecting anime and gaming. This is according to Bounding into Comics. Now, the beginning of the article talks a little bit about politics and gets into his disagreements with the current American president, Donald Trump. I don't care what someone on the other side of the world says about our president, whether it's a president I like or not. So I'll skip through that and go straight to him discussing political correctness. You can read it for yourself at boundingintocomics.com. In the opinion of Ghost in the Shell anime film director Mamoru Oshii, while the concept of political correctness may have been born from a place of genuinely good intent, spoiler alert, it wasn't, it was about control, its overemphasis in recent years has had a profound detrimental effect on not just entertainment media, but society at large. An industry legend whose lengthy list of credits also includes such works as Ghost in the Shell Innocence, Angel's Egg, and the original Yorose Yatsura anime adaptation, Oshii offered his thoughts on the hot button issue in the most recent entry of his monthly Q&A opinion column, That Thing from That Movie, What Was It Again, as commissioned and hosted by the Japanese entertainment news outlet Paya. His thoughts now turn to the specific topic. The director proceeded to assert political correctness started with the aim of giving legitimacy to socially vulnerable groups, and that's not wrong. In a mature society, that's a natural responsibility, added the Ghost in the Shell lead. However, the problem arose when, from that starting point, they ended up evaluating the socially vulnerable to a position of power. They get priority admission to schools and preferential treatment in employment, Oshii continued before making a surprise reference to the specific operations of narrative consultant companies like Sweet Baby Inc. What's more, there are companies that charge outrageous consulting fees to guide them through the process. Game companies, for example, are being asked to pay millions of dollars by these companies. Bringing his attention back to his more specific experiences, the mobile police bat labor director then explained, because it directly relates to my work, I have a strong aversion to bringing political correctness into the worlds of games and anime. After all, everyone who plays games wants beautiful or cute characters, he asserted. I'm no different. So why do we have to include unattractive ones? Entertainment is fundamentally built on aspiration. If you deny that sense of aspiration, you strip away the very foundation of what makes entertainment meaningful. These days, you can't even talk about someone being beautiful or not without being accused of discrimination. Western gains have become terrible, he then declared, all because of political correctness. And then the article goes on and talks a little bit more, and I'm going to let you head to boundingintocomics.com to read it for yourself. Okay, so as far as his comments on political correctness are concerned, he is absolutely correct. A lot of countries are kind of behind, and I'm not talking about Japan specifically, but all over the world. They still see political correctness as, something, oh, it's just people being nice. No, it wasn't. Political correctness was all about control. It was about Hollywood, academia, and politics controlling your narrative so you couldn't speak. It was a way to tamper down free speech. And yes, that is a fact. It was not based on a way for you to be polite. Oh, I'm not going to say this true fact about this certain event or this certain person or whatever because I don't want to hurt someone's fee-fees. Now, listen, I am of the opinion that freedom of speech should happen no matter who is speaking. What? You shouldn't be allowed to make threats. You shouldn't be allowed to be obscene with people, obviously. But if someone wants to say something abhorrent, I would rather hear them say it. I would rather it be out there in the aether so I know, oh, I don't want to click on this person's content. And like I said, with the exception of making threats or criminal enterprises, I think that freedom of speech should be a thing that happens, including with the arts. I don't think it stifles art at all. Does that mean I'm going to look and check out and view or watch or listen to every single thing that comes my way? No. And by the way, if I push back on someone saying things, that's not censorship. That's me responding. If I criticize a movie like I do many on my website, studiojakemedia.substack.com, you can read it for yourself. I've criticized anime, television shows, movies, everything in between. If I do that, that's not a form of censorship. That's me using my free speech to say, hey, I think this movie, this anime, this TV show, this video game is garbage. That should be allowed. It should be a two-way street. And that should be the same for an artist who's trying to make a product, who's trying to do their art. A creative should have freedom. But all that to say is he is correct. Oshi is correct. Political correctness is a rot that needs to be stopped. It is taking over everything. It's going to the point where they won't even let women just be beautiful or feminine. They have to all be either androgynous or these giant hulking figures, not look anything like what a woman looks like what a lady looks like. And I think that's a shame because it would really make sense for that. People want to enjoy things, people want to have a fantasy, and it's okay to have those fantasies as long as they're tame. Like for my PUBG avatar looks nothing like me. I just designed the character because I thought he looked cool, and I get to run around as that avatar when I play a round of PUBG. Same with my Destiny 2 character. He doesn't have to look exactly like me. I designed him to the specifications that I thought were cool again, and that's how it is. Same with any other game. I don't have to be represented in the game to a full on degree. I don't need a straight white Irish Cajun American to be in this Destiny 2 game. I don't have that expectation. And politically correct people, woke people, identity politics people, they want to push and force gamers and gaming industry people and anime directors and film producers to just cram any sort of identity politics wavelength into their stuff. And that's just not real life and not how real life works. Not everyone has to be represented in everything. So I know this video was a little bit of a rant, but I agree with Oshi to the extent of his comments on political correctness. It has gone too far. I disagree with him that it was made from a place of generosity and love. It wasn't. It was a way to control the narrative. He is wrong about that, but he is right in what he is saying as far as how far it's gone, where you can't even put beautiful or appealing characters in video games or anime and in Hollywood films. It's absolutely silly. It's absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully it'll all come together now that there's being so much pushback in the various entertainment industries. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment, tell what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. It's a great way to support the work that I do here. Another great way is to head on over to my aforementioned website, studiojakemedia.substack.com, where you can find my articles, and I write about a plethora of topics: anime, film, television, video games, and all other forms of pop culture commentary. So head on over there. You can read most of my articles for free, or you can subscribe and be part of the conversation and unlock other perks. You can also help me out by checking out my novels. I've got the supernatural thriller Cacophony, A Tale of Faith and Fear. It is about a group of angels and demons fighting over the souls of a small Texas town. If you like paranormal, if you like supernatural activity, and everything in between, this is the one for you. If you like fairy tales, check out my novels, The Seven Royals. Book one is All Good Things. Book two is Breaking the Stars. It follows a group of your favorite fairy tale characters defending their lands against a dark army of orcs, werewolves, vampires, and evil mages. You're not going to miss these either. And by the way, book three is on its way. Last but definitely not least is my latest fantasy romance novella, Blessed Child. It follows an elf princess who discovers she is pregnant with a human baby. This sends the elven kingdom into chaos, and her father, the king of the elves, hires a disgraced knight who is on the path of redemption to become her bodyguard. It is about courage under fire, it is life affirming, and we watch these two form an unlikely friendship as they navigate the turmoil around them. Pick this one up or all four and leave me a 5-star review on Amazon. And you can also check out my short stories and poems at studiojakemedia.locals.com. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.